Turn to 88.3 B.E.Z. WXUT B.E.Z. Hottest hip hop and R&B B.E.Z. If you representing Full Glass City B.E.Z.
But if you don't know, this is Kenny B Inspires. Please excuse my hustle segment. It's about to come really soon. And then I got the homie in here. What's up? What's up, Breezy?
Loud ass. Well, I can give you introductions to my section, my segment. We're gonna talk about interracial relationships and dating and stuff like that. So that's a little sneak peek.
Oh Lord, man. So we definitely had to get on air just to let you know that we were in the place to be. But for right now, we're gonna give you a little bit of music. So for right now, we got that Tone P Designer Bouts. Be easy.
We have a special guest in the building today, Antoinette. How are you doing?
I am fine.
Well, if you want to give us a brief little info about yourself, or you want me to throw it out there.
Yeah, you can go ahead. That's fine.
She will be the first NFL. She will be the first NFL female football player, right?
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's talk about it.
All right. So look, man, you definitely when I seen an Instagram bio, we definitely gonna get into that. But kind of tell us about your journey and kind of how you liked football and whatever, kind of your little story.
Well, see, I liked football since I was 2 years old, and my mom ended up putting me on the football league. But when I was in the football league, I was gonna play for the West Side Steelers, but they didn't really want a girl. Well, I'm sorry, the Berkeley Steelers, they didn't want a girl, so I didn't really pursue football as much as I wanted. And people were like, well, I can't pursue football because football is not for females, and they were just basically saying, I'm not going to make it. So I just started taking other people's advice as well, thinking, I really can't do it, but I still played it, around the streets and everything. And because I'm adopted, I really didn't, get a chance to, actually just pursue it, all the way. So I waited till I got to high school. And I was playing outside on the field with some of the football players, and they just told me that I should have tried out. And it actually, it was everything I ever wanted. I do track and field and cheerleading, but, I only did those just to, get better for football. For the height and the flexibility and the just everything for that, so.
Okay. So you, did you try it out your freshman year?
For football?
Yeah.
No, I only played my senior year because I was doing competitive cheer and competitive track.
Oh, okay, cool. So tell us about that senior year. What happened when you first tried out? Was people trying to come at you oh man, she ain't gonna do this or she ain't gonna do that, or how did it all happen?
Yes, everybody was coming at me all types of ways. It was even females. Females didn't want to support her. They well, you're gonna get messed up out there. You're messing with guys you don't know what you're getting into. And I'm well, I definitely know what I'm getting into. I wouldn't pursue it if I didn't really want to do it. And so I started going to the practices and everything, the winter conditioning and everything. And then I started going to the practices throughout the fall and the spring and everything. And then as soon as it got 3 weeks before my first game, my coach pulled me aside and said I had to have a meeting with my assistant principal, who was also the athletic director. And he basically, when he took me in the office, he told me that I was not allowed to be on the boys' football team because I was a female. Having a female on the team would make the team look bad, and females are not dependable, and it was a man's sport. So, right, yeah, that's rude. So I cried for 3 hours, and then I was gonna transfer schools, but I'm no, I've been at this school for 3 years. I'm not gonna let me do this like that. Let him do me like that. So that Thursday he kicked me off the team. I called the superintendent and everything. I was back on the team that Monday. That Tuesday we had another meeting. He was fired as being the athletic director for discriminating against me.
Yay! Shout out to them.
Justice.
But he's still the assistant principal, so that still wasn't no better because I still had to deal with him.
Oh, right? Man. So what was the first reaction from a coach? When you first literally that first moment you walked in to the workouts or the tryouts?
Well, he was actually my track coach too, and I kept telling him Coach Crawley, I'm going to be on the football team this year. He you're not serious, you're not serious. I'm I'm most definitely serious. I will see you at the workouts and everything. And he seen me. He didn't believe it for a second because I wasn't as strong as all the other guys. But as I kept pursuing it more and more, and he found out after the director got fired, he was you're really serious about this. I was really serious. I was giving him my all in practice, even though when I couldn't hit as hard as the guys, I just kept practicing and practicing and practicing because practice makes perfect.
That's awesome.
I have a question for you while we're on this subject. You said, obviously that's a given coming into that sport. You're going to face some outside criticism from, like you said, your athletic director.
Yeah.
He was giving you some stuff on that. My question to you is, throughout that whole process, how supportive were your teammates during the whole thing?
My teammates weren't that supportive at first. At first, maybe the first few months when they came to practicing throughout the summer, they just kept asking me, like, what are you doing out here? Like, why do you think you can just hang on us? And I'm like, I'm just doing something that I love. And then they really see me, like, putting in effort and everything, and everybody just started supporting me right after that.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
That's dope. That's dope. All right, so let's fast forward a little bit. We in, I guess, like, you made the team, obviously. Yeah. So, like, the practices, when it's getting to the point we got to pick the starters, like, what was happening in those practices?
Well, see, in those practices, I had to, like, fight because they had already had people who had been on varsity for 4 years, and I had to fight with them. So, maybe about the first 3 or 4 games, I didn't start. I didn't actually get into, like, the 3rd or 4th quarter, like, 6 to 7 minutes in, like, and then I had to prove myself my homecoming game because I was nominated homecoming queen, and the school we played won states, and when they won states, they had literally a price on my head. Like, they were on my Instagram, on my Twitter, saying how they were going to mess me up, how they were going to take me out of the game.
Price on your head.
Oh, yeah. So then the first play I was in the that's when they actually started me my homecoming game, because I was nominated homecoming queen. So they started me in the first quarter. In the first quarter, I ran my first route, which was a hitch, and I got tore up. I got really tore up. So I was kind of nervous then, but then I did another route, and I ended up running a fade, and I had got a touchdown in 6 minutes and 23 seconds. And then after I got my first touchdown, I got out of the game, went to go put my dress on, put my homecoming court crown on. I won homecoming queen.
Awesome.
I was to go change my dress, put my uniform back on, and in the 3rd quarter, in 9 minutes and 23 seconds, I scored another touchdown for 67 yards.
Oh, man.
I was really excited.
It was like a kick return or a pass or a run?
No, it was a pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so your quarterback was legit then?
Yeah, he was legit. He threw some over passes, but he was legit. He was legit. He was nervous at first. He told me, he was like, I forgot you were even out here. I thought you were one of the dudes. And I'm like, sometimes you just got to think like that, because they're not going to really think to throw the ball to a female, because they're not going to think that I'm going to, like, really take it that far.
Right. So, like, who is, like, someone you want to, I guess, model your game after, or one of your idols in the NFL?
Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
Oh, my God.
He's just like
Here we go.
Not even being offensive to him, but he's like a freak of nature. Like, he just can do anything. He can run, he can tackle, it's just all him, and he don't even care about it. He just does him. He doesn't listen to what nobody says. He motivates himself, and that's what I do. Like, I just keep motivating myself when nobody else do.
All right, so redirection is key. So your journey, so you're here in college, obviously, you're at the University of Toledo, and it's like the Instagram, you had it in your bio, I want to be the first female football player, and you throwing up your workouts. What was like your first comment, or like when was like the first, I guess, person, so to say, to really realize that was some of your goals here at Toledo?
Like one of the people here at Toledo who actually realized it?
Yeah, you didn't put a name out there, but like what was like their first reaction? Like the first person?
The first person, they commented and said, you play football? And I know they seen like everything up there that says football uniforms, and they just kept saying like, you play football, like they couldn't believe it, and it was just like wow, that's like real different, and they kept saying like mad respect, like, and they was just giving me respect from Toledo. I think the first person, because like he's a good friend with me, his name is Marquise Moore. Okay. He was the first person to actually notice, and then like I started talking to all the coaches and stuff, and then everything went from there.
I mean, I'm sure like it's a handful of people that's definitely inspired, because that's the first thing that your mama tell you when you're trying to go outside and play with the boys. Like, you a girl, I'm gonna play with them boys. Like, that's the first thing. Oh, they playing too rough. You shouldn't be out there with them.
Well, see, people don't actually get it that I'm a female football player, because I'm not like a tough girl. Like, I'm really, really girly. Like, really, really girly. Like, I stay in my feelings. I'm always. I love to wear heels more than gym shoes. It's just when I get on the football field, I'm not a female. I'm a football player. I have to play my role. That's basically how it goes.
That's legit.
How did your parents feel about this? Like, what was their first reaction, like, when you came home?
Well, my guardian, which is who I call my mom, she's actually my cousin, but I call her my mom. She's very supportive. Like, she just calls me her football princess and tells me how proud she am, and she tells everybody that my daughter's going to be in the NFL, and it makes me real inspired, like, by it, because, like, you don't get a lot of support as me. I have more doubters than supporters. So for me to get even a little support from my mom, for her to be so nervous about me getting hit or tackled and stuff, it really means a lot to me.
Right, I'd be nervous for you too.
Oh man, but obviously you got the world against you because you're trying to do what you're doing. But I mean, almost anything you get with the support, like you can always like count the support way more than the doubters. Like it can be a gazillion dollars and like 5 supporters, and if you feel like the 5 supporters legit, I mean, you feel like
Right.
you win the game.
And see, that's why I tune everybody out. I just talk to God, and I'm like, God, you already know what I want. You already know where I know you didn't bring me this far to like take me back now. I know you got something down this road for me because I didn't get this far for nothing. So I just keep thanking God every day for giving me a different talent that other females have, just because I love this sport. Like nobody ever understands like how much I really love this sport. Probably more than some guys.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of some like of the guys on the team, like how was their reaction when you first came?
Oh, some of them support us. Some of them not really. I haven't really met any negative, but some of them be like I have a lot of supporters. Like some of them like, we can't wait till you on the team. Like they're real supportive. They come to the field with me. They throw the ball. They do routes with me. They train me. They do it all. Like they real supportive actually. They like, we can't wait till you become a Toledo Rocket, and I get excited.
Okay,
for
well,
it.
I have a random question, you know, a little bit personally. So you have anybody in your life right now?
Not really. I can't. I'm really trying to focus. I mean, I thought I had somebody in my life, but not really, because you know, I really can't, like, being a female football player. A lot of boys get intimidated of me being a female football player. They don't take me serious. So I mean, when that right person come along and they're willing to, you know, settle down with the support of me being a female football player and accepting it, then I know that God put them in my place. But until now, I'm just gonna focus on school and football.
That's awesome.
I got a quick question for you while we're on that subject of school as well. Is this your first year, did you say?
Yes, I'm a freshman.
Okay, so obviously you're putting a ton of work in, which is awesome for the football. You're doing what you do. You're working really hard. I guess my question to you would be, all the work you put in, all the obstacles that you're overcoming doing that, have you seen that kind of transposed to other parts of your life and kind of help you be more successful, like with school, with other stuff you're doing?
Yeah, it just motivates me all around, because see, like in my family, I'm the first one to actually like graduate from high school and go to college, because you know my biological mom did, my sisters or brothers didn't either. So it was a lot of pressure on me at first, but then I had to think about I had to do it for myself and not for them. But football does motivate me a lot, because I know I have to keep my grades up in order to be on the football team. But
right.
all around, since I've been in school, I've had to keep my grades up and everything. Like even when it comes to problems and like a whole bunch of problems with health, being mentally and physically abused, I still had to, like, you know, stay with a steady head. So yeah, it does motivate me a lot to keep my grades up.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
most
without a
definitely.
doubt. All right, so after football, because I mean every athlete wants to be an athlete until they fall apart.
Right.
But what's the plan after football? No matter on what level.
Like, are you saying like
What's your retirement plan?
Oh, I'm getting my major in criminal justice, so I'm gonna have some type of career with the criminal justice and law enforcement education training somewhere in there to like help families, or like I really want to like work in the forensics part where I'm the cop, where I'm actually working with the bodies as well as like looking to see who killed them, how they killed them, what they killed them with, how long they were dead, you know, things like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, cool. So like a full-time detective.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely have no problem chasing down any criminals.
Right, she gonna have to tackle a few.
Yo, they gonna be like, oh, that's a girl, take off, and then they gonna get hauled down like within 5 meters though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Wanna go metal and a gold bezel. I treat it so special. Now you whole jealous. Freak hoes got several. They tens are better. I'm a trendsetter. I'm a gold. When I slide down the Ave, I'm fucking tripping. Damn. Maserati, bat black. All I wanna know is what